Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video I am excited to share with you an amazing plant that I have been personally using for about 12 years, and that is Schizandra chinensis, also known in traditional Chinese medicine as Wu Wei Zi, which literally means 5-flavor plant. Now what this means is that the Schizandra produces a beautiful red berry, hence I'm wearing my red shirt in honor of this amazing berry, and it covers all 5 of the flavors in one fruit. So salty, sweet, bitter, pungent, and sour. So all of those flavors are in one little beautiful, perfect red berry. So Schizandra is something that I first started looking at and kept coming across my radar when I was formulating the Brain Glow. And while I had never heard of it, my dad never talked about it, I'd never even seen it, it kept coming across in all the research, like what is good for brain health, what will improve circulation and oxygenation and provide mental clarity and focus and adaptogenic properties. And Schizandra kept coming across my radar. So I really started looking at it. And this is a plant that if you look at the different histories, some people say in some of the research it's been around and used for 2,000 years. Some people say it's been around for 4,000 years. And obviously for centuries, this plant has been used and loved and provided amazing health benefits for human beings. So the cool thing about this plant, from my perspective, is that it's like a growing vine, and it's once it gets established and growing and then of course starts producing the fruit, it is very hardy, and it also will survive really harsh climates. In fact, Schizandra is native to northern China and Siberia. So think about how harsh the winters get there. So it goes dormant in the winter, comes back, and it reaches its vines out. It reminds me a little bit of a wisteria, where we have a beautiful wisteria on a trellis in our yard, and it goes dormant in the winter, all the leaves fall off, and then voila, in the spring, it grows. Our wisteria provides these beautiful, beautiful purple flowers, almost look like grapes, and these beautiful bunches, and then the vines just reach out and will go everywhere. In fact, we have in our yard a honey locust tree that's right next to this trellis where we've been growing this wisteria forever. And sometimes we have to untangle the wisteria vines from the honey locust tree. So it's interesting how Mother Nature will find a way to grab a hold and just start really providing and taking over places where it gets to grow. Now, Schizandra is also known as Chinese magnolia or climbing magnolia. So it's one of those plants that if you've never heard of it, it might be something to consider putting in your yard. Now, it doesn't like to have a super wet soil. It likes to have soil that's a little bit damp, but super well drained. So you want to keep it watered, you want to keep it wet, only as far as you don't want to let it get all the way dried out, because it's going to need the moisture to dry, but it doesn't like to sit in standing water and just be kind of, always continuously in a bucket of water. So Schizandra also likes to have dappled sunlight, which means you don't want to plant it in full sun where it's going to just get, sit in the heat and just, get fried up. It likes to have some shade. It likes to have some sunshine. And in a way, if you think about vine-like plants, that's what they like. Because even our wisteria, where it sits underneath our honey locust, it gets the dappled sunlight and it gets perfect amount of sun and perfect amount of shade. That is exactly what Schizandra likes as well. Now, there are some amazing, like I said, health benefits to Schizandra. And this would be something that I would suggest that you look into, because you can get it a lot of places. It's very hard to get the fresh berries unless you grow them yourself or you know somebody who grows them and you know exactly when to harvest them. And the time that you harvest berries is is almost like when you harvest any other berries, and that's in the early fall, and depending on where you live, it might be even in the late fall as the berries are kind of coming on and they're getting ripe. And if you were ever to pop a fresh Schisandra berry into your mouth and kind of chew on it, it is quite an experience because it does have all of the flavor profiles. You know, can you imagine biting into something that's pungent and bitter and salty and sweet and sour all at once? In fact, I have never eaten in a restaurant where the chef has used something with Schisandra in it. So I have tried a couple of different times having like a syrup made out of Schisandra berries, kind of like elderberry. Like you make an elderberry syrup, that one tends to be a lot more sweet. But Schisandra is a whole nother experience. And what I've found is on those times when I've experienced Schisandra, either in pure extract, like a tincture form, or I've actually been able to chew on dried Schisandra berries, just like you would dry a cranberry. And it's really interesting. But on the times that I've eaten it, if I've been off of sugar, like I go through these moments where I'll even try to eat less fruit sugar. The Schisandra berry is a lot more enjoyable. It's a lot more palatable because my taste buds are not just kind of wrecked by the sugar. In fact, it's really interesting to me how when we go back to the basics of Mother Nature and we eat these foods that are not only good for us, they're so highly medicinal, but you got to think about they're put on this planet because Mother Nature is so perfect and she provides all of these things for us. When we destroy our palate with the processed food and all the sugar, it destroys our palate for the things that Mother Nature grows for us. It's really fascinating. In fact, on the whole sugar thing, you really have to think about what happens and what they're now calling Alzheimer's. They're calling it type 3 diabetes, which is obviously a sugar problem. So what I would say is if you've ever wanted to try Schisandra berry, even if it's just in the dried form, get yourself some. I'm sure you can find a great source online. I'll put a couple of my favorite places below this video where I get some of my things in bulk, and try them. You can also powder them. You can get it powdered, or you can dry the berries and then powder them and use them in different things. So you could even put them in a capsule if you feel so inclined. So here are some of my very favorite health benefits of Schisandra berry. And I wanted to write these down because it is one of those broad spectrum. You think about all the flavor profiles it has and all the broad spectrum things that it covers for human health. Liver protection. It helps detox and regenerate your liver cells. And this is why Schisandra made it also into my liver love. It's such a perfect berry. It's got adaptogenic power. So it's really good to help balance body chemistry. A good adaptogen will go in and help your body realize that it's not running from a tiger. We're not trying to save our life in a modern day stressful situation. We're simply dealing with modern stress. So it helps balance body chemistry with its adaptogenic properties. It fights fatigue and it helps to balance stress. It also gives you a massive, major mental boost. It enhances your memory, your clarity, and your focus. And this is the main reason that I put Schisandra berry into my Brain Glow, is because everything I ran across, one of the very first things that they always brought up is what it does for your mental health and your focus and your clarity and your energy. Like, to me, it's like, this is why we have this biology and why we are so connected to Mother Nature. And I believe we're going back to that. I believe we are starting to realize the perfection of Mother Nature and everything she provides for us. We are so going back that. And it fills me with so much gratitude that I get to be here during this time and witness the beauty of human beings reconnecting back to our truth and with our mother, this beautiful planet. It's also really, really good for your immune system. So it supports your body's defense systems. This is what our immune system does. It protects us, right? So it actually supports your immune function. It has massive anti-aging properties because it's so full of antioxidants. which are good for a whole plethora of things besides anti-aging. So that means it's also super good for your skin health. And many people, especially in Chinese cultures, believe that it's really good for sexual health and it helps improve your libido. I mean, it kind of covers so many things, right? It is good for your heart health, may support your blood pressure and healthy circulation. So what I would say is this. This is a plant, a vine, a beautiful berry that it produces that has been around and used by humans traditionally and even now in modern times for thousands of years. This is not anything new. Now, as with anything that is powerful and in our modern times with all of the toxins and all of the things that we have coming at us and all of the different health issues we might have and the medications we might be on, please do your due diligence when it comes to using plants and plant medicine, especially something that you're not familiar with. So if you are pregnant or nursing, this is something that is actually not recommended. Even back in traditional Chinese medicine, this is something that's not suggested. So, of course, follow that. Now, as always, do your own due diligence because the information that I share with you is based on my own experience and my own research. So please know that anything I share is not meant to be medical advice. So here's what I want to know. Are you a person who is familiar with, loves Schisandra berry, and most of all, do you grow it in your yard? Or do you know someone who grows it? You know, I know a couple places here in the Salt Lake Valley where I can go see Schisandra berry. One person, it's at their house, and the other place is, there's a beautiful place up by where the University of Utah is here in Salt Lake City, a beautiful garden that is so amazingly taken care of. It's called Red Butte Gardens, and there is a beautiful Schisandra vine there. So if you're a person who lives here, that would be something to go check out. But do you have a Schisandra berry plant in your yard? And what is your experience with it? This is something I'm going to look for in the nurseries that we have here, and I'm going to plant a Schisandra vine in my yard because after researching this for this video, I just thought, oh my goodness, why am I not enjoying the berries as they come off the vine? I think it's going to be an amazing addition to my health routine because I really love going as close to Mother Nature as possible to get the things that nourish me. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. I'd love to know what you think about this amazing plant, and we'll see you next time.